we didn't like dive into your dance origin and all of that stuff. And Taylor, I feel like, learned a little bit from Val about the Utah dance world.
Yeah.
Fascinates me.
And all of it.
The Mecca.
I mean, yeah, I guess I kind of want to know, like, when did dance start for you?
I started when I was 3.
Okay.
I have 2 older sisters, and they were both dancers.
Okay.
They are both dancers. But they were going to this studio out in Utah. It's called Center Stage Performing Arts Studios. And so they were actively in dance and competitive dance. And so I would kind of just get hauled along with the carpool. And I was obsessed. I would try to run into the dance classes. And they start kids really young there. So when I was 3, I got put into this like cute little combo class. I just remember it sparked something. Like, don't know what it was, but I just remember like that was the first time I kind of fell in love, if that's even a thing, or like passion started for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started at the studio. And mind you, this studio is where Derek, Julianne, myself, Lindsay, Whitney, Ezra, Riley, Brandon, we've all come from this same studio.
Jeez.
Where it all began for us. And so I was surrounded by epic dancers. And, you know, I think when you're growing up, you're like, oh, I'm going to try out soccer. I'm going to try out this. I'm going to try this. I never wanted to try anything else because I was just so set on like, I loved dance. And my mom never had to convince me to go to class or rehearsal. So that's when it started for me. And yeah, I'm so glad that I also had 2 sisters to kind of follow in their footsteps. They ended up transitioning. One of my sisters, my oldest sister, she's 11 years older than I am. So she became one of my first teachers as well.
Wow.
So she was one of my first company directors. She really guided me and helped me become into the dancer that I am today. And then I have a sister who's 3.5 years older than me. Once she graduated high school, she transitioned into being a teacher as well, and she was my company director as well. So
Wow.
I'm really lucky to have them. They are my guides, and even to this day, like when I'm choreographing for the show, if I'm stuck or I don't feel good about something, one of my routines, I'll send them the video and I'll be like, advice, help, SOS. What do I need to do? What do I need to fix? They're just so smart, and they know my style.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where it all kind of started for me.
That's so awesome. I had no clue about that.
Yeah.
That's really, really a family
It's
thing.
so crazy to me that there is this one place in
You can't let
America
this go.
that, and Val said it, like it's either the Chemeskis
Yeah,
or the Utah girlies.
Yeah.
Like it's like
It really
those are the
is.
best dancers in the world.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Again, there's a lot of discipline there.
But what's the secret sauce? How are they producing all these people, including yourself?
In Utah, you get your kids into something early.
Yeah.
Like you want to find their passion early. And I kind of love that about it.
Yeah.
Everyone's involved in extracurricular activities. Everyone's in sports or dance or gymnastics, and you just like do it and you grow up with kids doing it. So there's this great camaraderie. There's this great like essence of team from a young age, which I think is really special, where you don't find that in a lot of different places. Yeah. But it's also competitive, which sometimes to a fault. I think we need to like have a healthy balance.
Yeah.
But it is very competitive.
Yeah, it'll push you to be the best.
But you know, it's so interesting. Man, life is so crazy. But I remember because Julianne Huff, she moved to London for a while. She's from Utah, but she moved to London. She did a lot of her ballroom training out there. She danced with Mark Ballas. And I think for her senior year of high school, she came back to Utah. Okay. She like kind of stopped and was coming back to Utah. And I remember she started doing private lessons. And I remember seeing her dance one time, and I was just like dumbfounded at how a specimen could be so stunning and like sexy and sensual, but elevated. And so I was like, begged my mom, please, can I take a private lesson from her? Like, please, 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 please. So she was like, okay. So I took this Latin, and I just kind of gotten introduced to ballroom at this point. Cause I started with like a jazz, ballet, tap, you know, all the core stuff. And I wanted to take ballroom. And so we started doing private lessons after school on like Fridays. And one of our private lessons, she came in, she was wearing these like little jean shorts. She was the hottest thing I'd ever seen. And I was just like, OMG, I get to learn cha-cha locks from Julianne Huff. And then one day she called my mom and she was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I booked this gig in LA and I don't think I'll be able to do a private lesson with Jenna this week. I think that's when she booked Deal or No Deal. And then she literally never came back to Utah. She just like, bye. She like,
Was she a Deal or No Deal
yes,
girl?
I'm quite positive she was a suitcase girl because we watched her and I was like, that's my cha-cha teacher. But then she like literally never came back to Utah and then she just became Julianne Huff. But I remember like that was the first time I had idolized somebody being like, OMG, like there's something special about her that I really want that. So yeah, I'm so grateful that I got like a little piece of Julianne's training before she took off and became freaking superstar.
That's such a good story.
Yeah.
Some of her
Well, I mean, what was she starred in a movie.
She did Footloose.
Footloose.
Yes.
Yep.
But that was after Dancing with the Stars. And then she did her
Right.
music career. Then she did Footloose and then Burlesque. Like,
I have to see if this Deal or No Deal thing is real because
I'm
this will
quite positive.
This will blow my mind.
we need to text her. I'm pretty sure that's like one of her first gigs was a Deal or No Deal.
There's a good
figure it
chance she was one of my first crushes if she was a Deal or No Deal girl because that like the age I was at.
Yeah.
Some of my first crushes were Deal or No Deal girls.
Yeah. When they like open the briefcase and you're
Yeah.
like, how much money are we getting?
Yeah, I was like,
I can see
wow, I like number 12. Dang, she only had $5 in there. Like, and then they have to
on the
leave for the
next-
rest of the episode. Isn't that funny?
that. I can't wait for us to call her.
You are so funny. I know. I'm very curious about this. Wait. Okay. I remembered my question from way back when. What did you say? What age you started ballroom?
I started ballroom around 8 to 10.
Okay. Is
First-
that norm? Like at center stage, does everyone do all normal styles and ballroom?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what makes this specific studio so unique.
Okay.
Is because you cross train instead of picking one, like being a convention kid and just doing these couple of styles. We always did both. And that was something that just made us stand out always at competitions. But we had partnering, which a lot of young kids don't get. And so we already knew how to like interact with a guy, do lifts, do these different things. So yeah, I was like 8 to 10 starting ballroom,
It's so cool.
dancing with a boy for the first time.
It's funny you say that though, because I grew up dancing. I obviously had no ballroom, anything, no male partner experience. And then I went to college for dance for a little bit before nursing, but that was the first time I'd ever partnered with a guy. And it was a little odd to me at first because I was like, how, like, I'm just going to trust someone. I mean, I was always the one that was like lifted in things, but it wasn't like, I'm not like trusting this one human to lift me and like actually dancing with someone. It is different.
I always tell people, especially dancers wanting to come out here and be an industry dancer, commercial dancer, the ones that always get hired are the ones that have experience in partnering. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
And it's so unique to me, or so interesting to me, that some of the best industry dancers, like they're just smashing it. And as soon as you put them in a partner scenario, they stress ball change and like cannot do a step and like panic.
Yeah.
It's so mind blowing to me. So I'm so grateful that like at a young age, I was thrown into these scenarios where my teammate was a guy and we had to figure it out and make it work. And I love it.
Yeah. Were you always like, I'm doing dance forever? Or did it get to a point where you got older and you were like, okay, do I want to actually like pursue this professionally, or what was that for you?
Yeah, I remember at 16, I tried to convince my parents to let me graduate early and move to LA and try to get started working and dancing. And they were already stressed that I wasn't a normal child, like having normal experiences, because I would do half days at school and then go straight to the studio and train for hours on end.
Yeah.
And that was my life and I loved it. I was the one that was asking for that.
Yeah.
So they really wanted to maintain these childhood experiences, like going to a prom or this, where I was like, I'm not going to need this in the future. This isn't going to help my dance career. And they were like, no, you need this to be a human being. And I'm really, now looking back, I'm grateful that I had that, because I was not a social kid. I just was always so driven and motivated. But now looking back, I like when I'm looking at my child now, I want him to have those experiences.
Yeah.
He needs to be a kid because I think the reason why they forced me to have a normal upbringing is what made me not lose my passion for dance. I didn't burn out, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I always knew that I wanted to make it a career. And at that time, like a So You Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars were exploding.
Yeah.
So I saw a path of maybe I can do this and maybe I can pursue it and it will become a thing.
Yeah.
Didn't know how or what the tools were to get me there, but I was just like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.